Another reason I left religion, Christianity, and extreme fundamentalism is that the church teaches hetero family dynamics. You might be wondering what's wrong with that. And there's really nothing wrong with teaching heteronormative family dynamics, family units, or how heterosexual families exist. The problem is, that's all they teach. They erase anything that isn't heteronormative. You Google, what does Christianity or Christian churches think about non-heteronormative family dynamics? You'll get something that usually pops up that says it's a sin, or it's an abomination, or they're predators, just the common BS. The problem isn't that they're teaching heteronormative family dynamics, is that that's the only dynamic they allow. Now, there are some church denominations that are slowly progressing toward acceptance of non-heteronormative individuals, marriage, adoption, and just in the existence, and without erasing or never talking about it, which is amazing. The problem is they're a minority. A lot of church hierarchies, if a church supports anything non-heteronormative, don't hold your breath, they're going to be thrown out of their denomination. They will just have to be their own church. The same way they get rid of churches that have female pastors. The problem with only teaching heteronormative family dynamics is you're erasing 25% of the people on this planet. And it's not even about the queer community entirely. It's that there are a lot of people that don't even want relationships. Approximately 1% of everyone on this planet is what we call ace or asexual. Some may want a traditional relationship. They might not even want a relationship. Not a traditional, not a modern, nothing. They may not want a romantic relationship, period. We call that aromantic. It's not how they want their life to be. I don't think it's a choice. I think it's just the way their brain is wired. Like some brains are wired to be straight, some gay, some bi, some asexual. It's not something they want, something they value, but it's a spectrum. The problem is extreme fundamentalist Christian churches erase anything that isn't heteronormative. If you're not married to a woman with 2 kids, a dog, and a picket fence, you cannot be in a position of authority. A teacher, a junior or senior member of leadership. I have never met a single male pastor. And I'm sure that there are churches that do. But the stereotypical in all 7 churches I've been in is a married, cis, white, straight man who is married, either has kids or adult children, depending how old they are. Most of the pastors I knew were 45 or older, so their kids were usually teenagers or no longer at home. I've read over 50 books from various Christian libraries. Not one time did they ever mention in a book centered on marriage, lust, love, or family dynamics that there are people that don't feel any of those things. They don't want those things. They never acknowledge that there are men and women out there that don't struggle with a lust problem. And I don't even believe it's a problem anymore. The part about lust being a problem. The problem is they deny that there are people out there that don't want relationships, sex. Sometimes they even ridicule them. If you Google pastors who ridicule asexual people. It's there. You look at advertisements. When is the last time there was an advertisement geared toward asexual people? I would say 80% of the ads you see that isn't about a movie has something to do with sex appeal. When you grow up in a marginalized or completely erased existence, you have nobody to look up to. That's why it's so important to have people in movies, TV shows, books, politicians, leaders, and businessmen who are examples for people of various different groups. Bisexuality never existed in the churches and the form of Christianity I grew up in. Gay people was never discussed, ever. I didn't even know what gay was until I was 17 and never even learned about the community until my late 20s. It was never discussed. The word heteronormative was never said because that would imply there's something that isn't. So